So, hello everybody, and welcome to the next episode of TrexTalk. And today we have over here in our studio will be Jeffrey. Yo,
Hello everyone.
welcome Jeffrey.
Hello Eric.
Yep, hello. Yes, okay. Thank you for coming to this week's TrexTalk. So we have a few questions for you. There is of course real estate related questions. That we have 5 questions here. So let's just kickstart without any further delay. So the first question we have for you is there a common piece of property advice out there that you strongly disagree with, but everyone else seems to agree?
Of course, definitely. You always hear, right? Just buy near MRT, confirm good investment. But don't get me wrong, MRTs is important in Singapore. But sometimes when they buy a property like overpriced just because they want to be next to the MRT station, it's overpriced. And also the layout sometimes is weird, face expressway, or maybe the condition is not as good. So at the end of the point, sometimes they lose money when they want to sell the story. Hey, how come I cannot get the ideal capital appreciation that I want also?
So it's more of most of the people usually will say like if you are buying close to the MRT, it's definitely make money lah.
Correct.
So I think all these are the myth that we constantly hear as well. Again, because not every property performs the same way. Also, sometimes depending on the location, the timing as well. So I think important, or even the layout wise, yes, like what I mentioned, the layout. So I think importantly is overall we need to really understand how the whole property market work at which period of time, because sometimes it not based on whatever the development, the small development. Sometimes small development can also outperform bigger development.
It's correct.
Sometimes small development that is close to MRT can also outperform a lot of different kind of development.
Yeah.
So I think in general, always consult professional to have all your answers before you take the next move to your next property purchase. Okay?
Okay.
So the next one that we have for you over here, which is question number 2. What's the one part of the job you secretly hate, but no one dares to talk about it?
Of course, you'll be managing unrealistic expectation. It's like when the seller want to sell the place, right? They have they want to sell the property way above the market price. Like probably this property is worth $1 million. They're expecting to sell. I want to sell 1.3 because this property is how good it is. Of course, every homeowner will think that their house is the best. Yeah, so they're always like, I want to sell $200,000 to $300,000 above the last done. So this is one of the property agents don't wish to hear. And also another type of client that we met is they want to buy a 3-bedroom condo with a 2-bedroom budget.
3-bedroom condo with a 2-bedroom. Okay. I think it sometimes also can be done, but it cannot be the kind of ideal location. It cannot be like, example, today you tell me you have a 2-bedroom budget, you want to shift into 3-bedroom. It can be done, okay, but you can only buy OCR property.
Yes.
If you want to shift nearer to the town area, you want to zoom into a RCR property, I think it is definitely difficult.
Yes.
For us to fulfill your wish, unless you really hope for one durian to drop down fire sale probably also not your turn yet maybe also gone So I think this part we also need to let the consumer understand. Sometimes it's not really we can't get the job done, but sometimes it's really some of the requirements given are not realistic to begin with. So I think for us out there who has been in the industry also quite a while, it's also how we manage expectation from not just the seller and even buyer as well. Because in today's context, I mean, every house owner, home seller, they always wants to sell what? Sell high, man.
Sell high, yes.
Every buyers today want to buy what?
Low.
Buy low, standard one. So we are there, of course, to manage both sides of expectation. So it's just to make everybody happy in that particular transaction. Okay?
Yes.
So the next question we have for you, okay? Do you still get nervous before certain type of deals or clients?
Yeah. Okay. I do get nervous sometimes, it's especially, it's not because I'm not experienced enough or maybe I don't have the knowledge. It's sometimes where we actually met this type of transaction where the seller need to sell the HDB and transit into a condo purchase. So the timeline is very tight. So we can also see that sometimes it's like any party that mess up probably the timeline or any certain part of submission they miss out, it can really mess the whole process really, really very badly also.
So I think timeline wise, yes, it's one of the not so easy kind of thing, because if you come into selling, buying, it can be voiced out into even getting an extension of stay, example for the HDB, or even up to a private property, you have to get a bridging loan. How long the duration you need to extend, and then how much is the cost incurred for all these bridging loans.
Correct.
So I think all these different kind of scenario, I think it would be best for a consumer out there to consult a profession like Jeffrey over here, which he can give you a better insight of how to get the selling and buying duration being done. So of course, for me personally, I think timeline, all this is not so much. I won't get so nervous lah.
Okay.
But different kind of clientele, because for me, I started out doing a lot of HDB owners.
Okay.
So of course, I'm doing the mass market back then. So of course, until now, I still do a lot of mass market. But it's to a point whereby sometimes if you're talking to people, people who are of different level. So example, today you walk into a landed home that is a 5 million, 8 million. I used to think, wow, what kind of language should I be talking to them? Because I feel that they may be different caliber, that's why they can stay in the 8 million, 10 million property. Yeah, but who am I? I'm just a probably small fry to them. To me, maybe in their eyes, I'm just a salesperson. But actually, along the way, I come to think this way. Today, we all only live once. Actually, when I talk to people, they are just human beings, same as me. So I shouldn't get nervous. But again, like 3-5 years back then, when I meet up with these kind of people, I get nervous. I like, wow, I must really go and study all these property that they stay there. I cannot see anything that is wrong there. But I feel that in today's context, if you don't do anything wrong or answer anything wrong, you don't really learn something from there, from the experience. Alright. So I think out there, for me, is if you really don't know, just say you don't know, you can do a check. Yes. So usually right now, if I meet up with clients who are of a different caliber in a way, or different net worth in terms of the property, just normal chit chat with them, the same thing right? Then probably ask them, actually, how you achieve this kind of status how you change from example, you start off with probably a small private property, but how you slowly change to all this. At least you learn something from there. Always hear from them their stories, right? Yeah. Okay. Can. So this is part of my story lah. Okay. So the next question we have what's the toughest conversation that you ever had to have with a client?
Okay, there's one situation that's really stand out is because the seller is actually super emotionally attached to the house. Why I say so is because they actually raised their kids up in this home. So we actually got an offer from a buyer who came to view the house and is okay and willing to offer already. So when we met up with the seller to discuss on the offer, the seller was okay with the price, but a bit reluctant. So he started to do a lot of facts finding, the transactions, data, everything to present to them. So everything makes sense. All the number makes sense already. So when it comes to pens to sign the OTP, right? They couldn't sign. So I was wondering why. Okay. Then when I started to think, they have been staying here for so long, kids growing up, everything. So I say, is it because he actually emotionally attached to the house? Then without saying anything, the lady owner turned around, look at the house one more time, like all the past flashback, everything. Then after that, she signed. Yeah. So selling a properties is not just like always like you need to everything get all the numbers right, factually correct. Sometimes it's also like emotional. So this thing actually taught me that being an agent, everything is not just on spreadsheet. You actually need to listen to understand that actually you can actually help them better to advise them also. So the reason why they want to sell is also to actually use the money to restructure their portfolio for their retirement purpose. Yeah. So after the whole thing is over, right, they're actually very happy and she invited us to their new place for meals or everything. Yeah.
I think this part is very important because overall, I think emotional attachment occurs in most people when it comes to selling a house, especially when we talk about like housing wise. A lot of people stay in that particular house, we raise up their kids for the last 30 or even 40 years. Yeah. So I even got one case where it's executive mentioned it about probably 10 years back. So that particular lady has been staying there for about 30 over years. So 30 over years, because the older folks kind of thinking is every month I just pay using my CPF. Correct? So when it comes to a point, she don't really understand that, how come when I sell this property, I don't get back any money and I'm still making a loss? So then, of course, as an emotional attachment to the house, then she raised up their kids. Everybody has their own house really. Eventually, she will still need to sell. So when it comes to the age of about 63 years old, back then when I was selling for her, the property value was in fact only priced at about 600,000. But she was asking 700,000 because she tell me, hey, Eric, I need to sell at this certain price because if not, I don't get any money back. So after explaining to her that, in fact, current market is based on 600,000, the rationale to sell at this price is also to let you understand that you don't need to pay any more mortgage loan. If you were to sell here, to right size your property to a smaller room. So eventually, she took out the advice, but with a very deep heart inside lah. Deep, what you call that? The deep, 很沉重的心情. This one I think you can just 沉重的心情. I don't know the English call what lah. So she decided to sell, and then of course when she sell, she was having tears in her eyes lah. But again, at the end day, did I advise her on the right track? I think yes, because after she moved out of there and she moved into a 3-room flat in Toa Payoh and fully pay, although she make a loss of about 180,000 in terms of CPF, I think she's much happier off. If not, until the day if she were to be still staying in this particular executive mansion in Simei, she will still be paying a monthly mortgage loan of about 1,800 per month. Yeah. I think by the time she passed on, she won't be able to pay finish. So I think this kind of emotional attachment, I totally understand, because you have been staying in the house for 30, 40 years. It's difficult to move on sometimes, but look on the brighter side. If at the end day, if you don't have to pay for any more mortgage loan, I think that's a really huge relief for a lot of people.
A more comfortable retirement.
Yeah, exactly. And then probably you have your own extra money to go overseas, that kind of thing. Yeah. Okay, so we have the last question for you over here. What's the one thing you have learned about people from years of doing this job?
One thing I always learn is that the property decision, right, are always never about the property. It's not just about upgrading or maybe for investment returns. There's always something deeper that as a property agent, right, we need to understand a bit deeper. So it could be the reason why they move, right, is because it could be for their aging parents that they need to take care, or maybe for the children's school that to save on the commuting time to the school, or some more sensitive issue is they want a fresh start after the breakup. So for us, right, once we understand then, right, it's actually help us to become a better advisor because we stop focusing about just numbers. And we also listen to the real story behind why they want to move also.
I think over here, I totally agree with what Jeffrey said, because I think for me personally, real estate is not just a one-off transactional kind of thing. And importantly, over the years, I have learned that instead of just using your ears to listen, you must also use your heart to really listen and to really understand. Correct. Why does a client wants to make this decision to even move or even to purchase this particular house? So from this part is more of your 人缘 English call what
Interpersonal skill?
Interpersonal skill. See, my English not good is like that one. So I think the interpersonal skills is very important when it comes to all this, because you really need to understand what they really want. Because a lot of people out there still have this perception and mindset that we are just a regular salesperson trying to just close the deal and then say sayonara, bye bye, deal done, take your commission and go. I think over the years, I think a lot of things has evolved, has changed along the way. So I think in today's context, we are not just salesperson, we are also professionals who are out there always listening and really understand what does clients really want. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we are done with the last question.
Yes.
Okay. So I think thank you very much for Jeffrey for coming for this week TrexTalk.
Okay.
So if you guys got any more questions relating to real estate, purchasing timeline, or even elevating your assets and all, feel free to give Jeffrey a call, and I believe he will guide you through the whole process seamlessly. Yes, still more seamlessly, correct? It's fine. Okay. Okay, so thank you once again, Jeffrey, for coming down. Thank you, and we'll see you guys in the next episode of TrexTalk. Thank you.